Welcome to this video introduction. My name is Stefan Hauenschild and I will guide you through this presentation. For those of you that have already read the blog post and watched our video teaser, please do not be disappointed if the first couple of slides sound familiar. I promise to get into more details very quickly. Resilience is a terminology often used in psychology and around disaster recovery. In addition, it is used ever more often in supply chain, either related to supply chain risk management or when talking about constant adaptability to changing environments. Our resilient planning approach is heading towards improvement of planning procedures in a way that allows sustainable self-transformation to be able to cope with new challenges on your own. Let's have a look. Do you know some or even all of these topics from your working environment? Starting at your customers, they might experience unreliable order confirmations or unsatisfactory lead times. At the same time, your operations is struggling with continuous exception handling and priority changes. Your suppliers complain about all too many last-minute orders or let you pay for it big time. The management functions are fighting against lack of efficiency and or high stock levels at the same time, and maybe yet again meet due to escalations from some supply discontinuity. Talking to the planners, they might tell you that no one really sticks to the plan. All these examples might be symptoms of planning issues. And if multiple of these occur at the same time, it's very likely so. Before trying to optimize your planning, we strongly advise you to think about the nature of planning. Planning needs to cope with many different situations and not all of these can be foreseen. In this way, it is comparable to our body's immune system, which perfectly ties into the resilience terminology. Think about it. Intrusions need to be detected. Most suitable antibody depends on the situation. Different elements need to communicate to stay aligned. Changing external influences constantly challenge the system. And it needs to learn from experiences to protect the body more efficiently the next time. In order to achieve this, you need a comprehensive approach. Staying in this analogy, our approach is to do an anamnesis, which includes environmental factors, such as strategy, markets and customers, physical health check, processes, data and KPIs, cognitive health, organization, awareness and capabilities. After that, we determine a suitable immediate medication, focusing on stabilization and improvement measures, low-hanging fruits. Thinking about the immune system, it is clear that this is not enough. It is our strong belief that one should aim for resilience in planning. In order to get there, you need to think about more sustainable treatments. It is really about vaccinations and adoption of habits, instead of repeatedly throwing in some antibiotics. We will guide you through this transformation and support where needed. With resilient planning, we are talking about transformation of your planning processes and organization, since planning is a company-specific challenge and sometimes even needs to be adjusted on plant or business unit level to match the requirements. Furthermore, process and organizational transformations also require specifically designed approaches. That is why we do not consider a standardized approach as suitable. We will develop a tailor-made approach for you and your situation. In order to give you some idea of how this could look like, I will explain some elements of our toolkit on the upcoming slides. During the anamnesis, we will typically conduct different process and organization audits. which include KPI and data analysis, such as forecast accuracy, stock levels, dead stock, productivity, utilization rates, and OTIF, just to name some. It also includes process shadowing, especially in the different planning disciplines like production planning or demand planning. But if applicable, also in operative functions, for example, whenever planning activities are conducted there. And stakeholder interviews. Responsible managers for sales and operations planning, master planning, demand planning, production planning, distribution planning, and procurement planning. These can only be examples. If at your company, let's say, marketing campaigns have a larger impact on supply chain, we will need to involve marketing into the initiative. And there might be other interfaces that need consideration. In order to consider the environmental factors and already prepare for the transformation towards resilience, we suggest to conduct so-called resilience awareness workshops. In these workshops, your strategy and operating models are clarified and the alignment with planning procedures is ensured. Furthermore, the perspectives of different involved departments are presented and explained. Often, the underlying targets and motivations are shared in this context in order to reach a comprehensive understanding of recurring mechanisms observed in daily business. Based on this common ground, most significant audit results can already be discussed in a cross-departmental team, and key drivers for resilience can be identified and understood. We will document the audit results in lists of findings, including root cause classifications, and will provide you with a resilience maturity evaluation which clearly shows key drivers for resilience. In addition, a process and stakeholder mapping could be a result from the anamnesis phase. Even though we are convinced that immediate medication is not enough to restore resilience in planning, we still do conduct this kind of treatment as a prerequisite for resilience. In this phase, we elaborate and align improvement measures. Typically, we involve all different departments again in order to achieve the full picture and to mutually agree on tasks, priorities, and responsibilities. In order to allow a tracking of measures, we will define a set of suitable KPIs. In addition, we can coordinate and track the implementation for you if you like. Based on the results of the anamnesis and experiences from the immediate medication, we will elaborate a roadmap in order to transform towards resilience. As this is heavily related to business transformation, process, and organization, one important aspect in this adoption phase will be the alignment with the key stakeholders before starting the change process. During the transformation journey, we will guide you, coach responsible roles, and help you identify further optimization potentials on the way. This phase can only start as soon as certain stability in planning has been achieved. But it is not necessary to wait until all identified improvement measures from the previous phase have been fully implemented. Saying this, let's have a look at a potential timeline. As an indication, you could consider an anamnesis phase to take roughly 3 weeks, where we will be on site for audits, interviews, and workshops, and will conduct data analysis and documentation from remote. The immediate medication phase to span another 3 weeks, with slightly less intensity from our side. The resilient adoption phase is the most difficult to provide an indication for, as this varies based on the involved people, stakeholders, and your company culture. Nonetheless, You should plan with approximately 4 months, during which we will support you continuously, but not every day. As you can see, we basically talk about an initiative of half a year. Your internal efforts highly depend on the organizational setup, size of organization, number of participants in a workshop, and availability of data. Hence, repeating myself, we will have to have a look at your specific situation and prepare a tailor-made offer for you. This kind of initiatives we run in a team of 2 to 3 consultants. In order to be cost efficient in preparatory and documentation tasks, junior consultants are part of this team. But what are the benefits of such an initiative? Planning offers multiple levers leading to improvements of cost of goods sold or even sales revenue. For example, in production, changeovers and interruptions can be reduced in order to reduce cost. In distribution, the utilization might be optimized to decrease transport costs, but also reduce delays in production will lead to less express freight with the same effect. In distribution, but also procurement, better planning can lead to reduced stock levels, affecting both storage cost and working capital. Product availability can be improved in production, distribution, and procurement. This will increase customer satisfaction, maybe also positively influenced by increased rates of on-time and in-full deliveries from order fulfillment. The customer satisfaction directly impacts sales revenue. There are many more cost and revenue drivers heavily influenced by planning. Maybe some do not have highest relevance for you, but there are certainly multiple promising levers for your specific situation directly related to the financial results. To give you an idea whether resilient planning could be interesting for you, I would like to share an educational business case on the next slide. I would like to highlight that the initiative we describe is a two-step approach. Anamnesis and medication will lead to a first positive impact, which then is followed and completed by your own team with our support. Please also consider internal efforts on your side and time to ramp up new procedures and work on improvement measures. We know that revenue effects are often difficult to be quantified or to get the buy-in from stakeholders. Other levers might be distributed across multiple departments and therefore difficult to be considered in business cases. Nonetheless, reasonable ROIs can be shown and achieved. We are convinced that the second step to build up your resilience is worth the effort. Not only due to the additional improvements identified during this time, even more so because it will help you to cope with the ever-changing environment, avoiding the necessity to undergo an emergency surgery in your next challenging period. As you can see from this presentation, it is our perspective that optimizing planning sustainably is a transformation task. And besides the needed planning methodology know-how, this is exactly what we do. We work with our customers to embed the capabilities for continuous transformation into the fabric of their organization. If you would like to learn more or discuss about resilient planning, please feel free to contact me, and please also have a look at our corresponding blog post on our webpage bpExperts.de. Thank you for downloading this video introduction. I am looking forward to talk to you on how your planning can become more resilient.